no. Just like this. Maybe it's better. Arnett?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and thank you for this generous introduction of me and invitation. My talk is called, as you know, as you can read, Social Criticism and New Technologies in Audiovisual Arts. And I want to start with the general question, what is new media? And let me read my paper. It's maybe better than speak about these topics. Uh, yeah, and I will start from this video installation. The author of this work is my favorite modern artist, Ryoji Kurokawa, and after a couple of seconds, I will start. The question of what constitutes media, oh, no. Wait, end of this work, okay. The question of what constitutes new media becomes easier to answer when we consider the evolution of the art functions and purposes. After World War II, the world underwent repeat transformation. At the forefront of this change was art, which had become disillusioned with old dominant systems. This shift grew stronger after it became clear that humanity had failed to learn from the lessons of the First World War. Breaking connections with the past and responding to it was a natural state of for the post-war generation. This was evident not only in economics and politics, but also, and the most importantly, in art. Contemporary art begins with fluxes and notes the first wave of modernism. World War II acts as a barrier that interrupted the continuity of tradition, including in arts. By the 1930s, Dadaism continued to exist only in an individual level. Even the new avant-garde movement that emerged during the war in some ways originated with the framework of the old world, which was reflected in its aesthetic language. The newest form of contemporary art was born in the 1960s. Young artists who found their foundation in pre-war Dadaism declared themselves as new Dadaists. They began implementing ideas and doctrines the world had been unthinkable or highly difficult to pursue in the 1920s. The revolutionary energy accumulated in post-war society found expression in the student protests and revolutions of the 1960s. The revolutionary spirits gave rise to New Dadaism, a multidisciplinary movement that brought together all fields of art while also giving birth to entirely new directions and genres. The Fluxus Manifesto, written by Giorgi in 1963, rejected the professional elements of art. Manifesto was filled with radical ideas, opposing the formalization and hierarchy within the art. Dadaism had already changed academies, but new Dadaists called for the complete elimination of hierarchy, particularly in the realm of art. The revolutionary idea of equality stood in opposition to the bourgeois model, which held that only the chosen, I mean professional, and mecenas means professionals could create works of art. Maciunas, a radical artist inspired by Soviet avant-garde united avant-garde artists around ideas of extreme modernism. Fluxus was a movement, not a style or an artistic trend. New Dadaists share a common spirit and rejection of the social order established by consumerism. Breaking ties with the past was more challenging in the 1920s than in the post-war world, World War II world. Oh my God. Therefore, the emergence of the Dada movement was inevitable in society that had experienced gulags, Nazi concentration camps, colonialism, and neocolonialism. From 1961, there was several attempts to publish a Fluxus newspaper, but regular publication only began in 1964. In a trial issue, the Fluxus manifesto was printed, and you can see this manifesto here. Uh, like Tristan Tzara, Tzara's introduction of the Dada Manifesto is a manifesto of the first movement of Dadaism, and his author, Tristan Tzara. The Fluxus text primarily focused on the etymology of the movement's name. The difference, however, was the Fluxus Manifesto was much more concise and was made up of lexicological definition of the title with two additional comments by Maciunas. In 1960, he had selected 17 meanings for Fluxus, but by the 1963, only 7 remained. It is important to note that Maciunas emphasized 3 main meanings of Fluxus: purge, tide, and fuse. This concept defines the nature of the new anti-art movement, with the most significant being the idea of purge, that the bourgeois-tainted world should be cleansed. Fluxus, alongside Dadaism, also linked with Futurism, which had a similar central idea of cleansing of the world, but in different contexts and different ways, and so on. Fluxus Fluxus brought together artists who had previously been working independently or radical change in the art. For example, one of its members was John Cage, one of the most significant composer in contemporary academic music. Cage introduced one of the most radical symphonies in music history, 433. In this symphony, there was no sheet music, no notes. The only elements present were the time by itself, yeah, 4 minutes and 33 seconds. During this time, the orchestra remained silent, and the music was created by the noise of audience or and environment. Choking, talking, moving, and so on. Um, uh, this installation is not the John Cage for 33. It's there is a Giorgi installation, but I can I see the spirit of this movement of the Fluxus in this work. Uh, but it was turn down the volume. Yeah. The most significant event of Fluxus was the Fluxus Festival, established in Germany in 1962 and held in several cities across Europe. It was at this festival that the concept of new media began to emerge. One of the founders of this new direction in art, Namjoon Paik, joined the Fluxus movement as a musician. Paik had been studying music theory in Munich since 1957 and was conducted early experiments in electroacoustic music. After joining the Fluxus group, he quickly became interested in video art and video installation. The Fluxus Festival were far from traditional. For example, the musician score for the events were written by Maciunas himself, serving as interactions for creation anti-music. At the Fluxus Festival, new music was born. Artists play the cello by hitting the instrument. They destroyed pianos, and this noise became the music. This kind of approach is diffusing art into other forms. It is most clearly associated with Namjoon Paik, who at this festival painted with his head instead of brush. And this action you can see on this picture. After working in painting, Pike turned to audiovisual experiments. In his famous Buddha series, a completely new form of television, video, film, and sculpture is presented. Art in this context was seen as a medium that no longer had any boundaries or aesthetic or conceptual rules. Video, like a musical instrument or canvas, has become a tool for expression artistic concept. Even in modernism, the boundaries between art forms remained distinct and traditions were largely preserved. However, new Dadaists broke this mold, introducing a new artistic doctrine, media. One of um, one of the first audiovisual work to embody this shift was Them for Film. In this piece, traditional cinematic elements like script, narratives, filming, and editing were replaced by cinema's ontological components like shadows, lights, and motion. A projector was installed on the wall of the room, which shone a white beam onto the screen on the other wall. The viewer walks through this beam and created his or her own cinema on the screen. The audience became co-creators, leaving their unique marks on the artwork. The shaped narratives and histories independent of the original authors, turning cinema into a collaborative experience. Fluxus did not just introduce new media. It also brought new dramaturgy. The echoes of this transformation are evident in today's social networks, where individuals craft narratives and dramaturgies for their digital avatars. Uh, excuse me. The process of rethinking art is a medium led to profound change, many of which remain unresolved today. This transformation is far from complete. Instead, um, technological advancement continue to open new horizons. Virtual reality and artificial intelligence, for instance, presents opportunity for far beyond that Fluxus member could have envisioned. In today, IE-driven era, the vision of Fluxus has reached its most advanced technological realization. The ability to draw, for example, traditionally depended on biological factors, motor skills, and other details. Uh, AI now acts as a functional tool, handling technical tasks and enabling anyone to bring their ideas to life regardless of their physical abilities. The artist must use the medium's basic universal elements in their work. From the fluxus and the conceptual art. In music, this is the pure sound by Karl Schellhausen. In painting, pure color is seen in Piet Mondrian's work, and in cinema, light and movement is practiced by Elise Rhodes and her famous work, Dresden Dynamo, is presented now here. The specific form of these works depends on the artistic taste, but the central function elements is the concept. For the audience to decode the concept, the artist must provide clear instruction. Fluxus embraced this approach, training art making as a guided process. This method not only simplified art creation, but also democratized it, allowing anyone to engage in the creative process. In dominant cultural systems, the audience traditionally acts as a passive consumer of art. However, in the era of new media, audience have become proactive participants in the process of perception and analysis of any kind of art action and works and so on. New media have fundamentally altered the way we understand and interact with the world. As media scholar Stephen Dixon notes, the sense of newness of computer technologies became clearest when contextualized as a medium for significant social, cultural, and artistic change. In this way, computer technologies became a source of genuine paradigm shifts, inspiring the reevaluation of artistic and communicative techniques. Maybe it's enough for this work. And one of the earliest, the most influential thinkers in media studies, Marshall McLuhan, developed the concept of the medium as a message. His famous idea, the medium is a message, suggests that the nature of the medium itself, not the concept it delivers, is the key to understanding its impact. For instance, television is defined by its physical and technological properties. The television is a TV set. Yeah. Not merely by the concept broadcast through it. Okay. New media is both an artistic field and a social technological phenomenon remains subject to study and exploration. At the same time, many technologies or mediums have come under the control of political and financial powers. This has driven artists and researchers to critically analyze this media. Among the most significant figures in this field is a German artist, Hitoshi Thayer, a philosopher, researcher, and artist who combined her creative practice with theoretical critique of new media. Steyer's work reflects the tension between the utopian promise of technological innovation and its cooperation by power structures. By questioning how these technologies shape our perception of reality, she sheds light on the ethical and cultural dimension of new media. Hitoshi Tayer's art has made a profound impact on contemporary art, particularly in the realm of new media. With her multi-phased practice, Steyer explores the interaction of technology, politics, and the globalized world, providing a critical lens through which examine the complexities of social and political systems. She explores algorithm and machine learning from a critical theory perspective on the digital language learning. Her work engage with issues such as surveillance, the role of the internet, the commodification of information, and the power structure that shapes the global flow of images. Her primary field of expertise is media art, particularly in the realm of video art installation and CGI. Steyer's work often addresses issues such as the militarization of technology, the impact of digital media, and the complexities of global capitalism. She also examines how the perception per, perce- I can't read. Uh, how presentation of violence and power is mediated through digital technologies and media channels. Her work blends elements of documentary, essay, films, and speculative fiction by using a variety of medium forms, including video, installation, photography, and text. Thayer confronts the viewer with the questions that surround digital culture. Who controls the image? Who owns the means of production, and how the technologies mediate our understanding of reality. Steyer has been pioneering figure in the use of new media to critique contemporary life. She is a central figure in the development of what is often referred to as post-internet era art, and a genre of art that represents to the pervasive influence of digital technologies and the internet on contemporary culture. Post-internet art often address the ways in which online platforms shape our identities, relationships, and access to knowledge. Here, groundbreak video works such as How Not to Be Seen, a didactic education move file, and Liquidic Ink, tag issue of surveillance representation and the power of algorithm. And now I can start this movie video. It's taken from her movie named How Not to Be Seen. This movie have five parts, and this is the last one. And we can see just the beginning of this part, and then I continue to reading my text. But
How Not to Be Seen. A fucking didactic educational mod file. How Not to Be Seen. Lesson 5. There are 54 ways to merge into a world made of images. To hide. Remove. To go off screen. To disappear.
Maybe it's enough. This video deconstructs the mechanism power that underpin visibility, urging the viewers to consider the implication of living in a world where digital surveillance determines who is seen and who is erased. Hitosh Tire has been involving in two significant projects connected to Georgia. The first mission accomplished Balenciaga was a collaboration with Georgian artist Giorgi and with Bosnian-Dutch artist Milos Trakilovic. This video installation explores the intersection of capitalism and consumer culture. Through a collaborative video lecture, the project uncovers surprising links between post-1989 political upheavals in the former Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union, in particular in Georgia, Western politics, and the intertwined world of fashion and technology. The second project currently in development, but focused on studying the phenomenon of cryptocurrency mining in the border regions of Georgia. Specifically, this impacted by the Abkhazia conflict. Yeah, this border is Abkhazia-Georgian border, if you can say this. And Steyer is an artist researcher. This tradition in conceptual art that emerged after World War II, led by figures such as Hans Hake. Today, this approach has become increasingly widespread. Mm, no. Through her critical lens, Tyre demonstrates how art can serve as a powerful tool for questioning and reshaping social norms, making her a central figure in the ongoing transformation of conceptual or contemporary art. And now, it's time to go to Georgia. Mariam Natrashvili and Denitu Jincharadze represent a new wave of Georgian artists, researchers working in contemporary digital media. They are artists and curators known from their interdisciplinary work that explore critical issues in technology, society, and culture. Working primarily in digital media, their practice includes computer graphics, virtual reality, and video installations. Their collaborative works is marked by a deep engagement with themes such as posthumanism, post-capitalism, and the socio-political implication of globalization and ecological crisis. One of the most prominent work is I Pity the Garden, presented as the Georgian Pavilion of Venice Biennale. This virtual reality installation explores the ecological and human consequences of capitalism through a series of haunted, digitally created spaces. The work engage viewers as cybernetic archaeologists, inviting them to travel abandoned urban and natural environments while reflecting on the legacy of industrial explanation and ecological degradations. Uh, oh, sorry. I just want to use this piece. Okay, maybe it's enough. The project often critique global capitalism, colonial legacy, and the socio-political transformation of post-Soviet space, with a particular focus on Georgia's shifting cultural and environmental landscapes. The work stands as a monument reflection on the interaction of digital ecology and critical theory. Set in the digital rendered environment devoid of human presence, I Pity the Garden invites viewers to navigate a tactile virtual space. This space evokes the lingering trace of human activity and explore the reasons for humanity's hypothetical extinction in the role of a cybernetic archaeologist. So 1 second, we can skip. No, it's important part, and I will speak about this part, but I use this video, sorry. In the role of a cybernetic archaeologist, the observer moves as a disembodied angel or alien visitor traveling a world left behind. The journey begins in abandoned marketplace and James now inhabited by insects. A trail of discarded plastic bottles lead to a home filled with the bourgeois symbols of comfort. Furniture, television, and cabinets. The observer proceeds to a workplace eerily mirroring factory floors, where rows of desks evoke industrial labor. This space critiques the rise of cybernetic proletariat, alienated for the product of their work in the same way traditional labor were alienated under classical capitalism. The journey then shifts to a prison-like environment, echoing Michel Foucault's panopticon. The surveillance towers, security cameras, and guard dogs symbolize the ideological control embedded in system of power. Finally, the observer encounters a post-Soviet apartment block with, and you can see this part of this work. Yeah. Finally, the observer encounters the post-Soviet apartment block with its characteristic informal extensions. This addition archetypes of new liberal transformation symbolize the origin of socialist collectivism by individualism and capitalist privatization. They also serve as the reminder of the first lessons in small-scale privatization for Georgia faced after the military putsch took place shortly after the declaration of independence, when military criminals seized state property. And we can skip these parts and going here. Okay, maybe. Central to A Pit is a Garden is a critique of capitalism, ecological, and human toll. The work confronts the industrial terror of capitalism with its aftermath, an empty world where even plants and animals have disappeared. As viewers navigate this space, their hands can at the start of the we are experience become the only traces of humanity in this post-apocalyptic ecosystem. The narrative culminates in a moment of unexpected magic. Furniture inside the emptied home begins to bloom. This surreal flowering symbolizes the rebellion of nature against reification and commodity fetishism, as theorized by Marx and Lukács. It imagines as a world where nature reclaims and transforms the product of industrialization, offering a vision of balance after this crash. By employing virtual reality, Natrashvili and Jincharadze create a visceral and immediate medium for exploring post-capitalist critique. We are allowed them to bypass the material limitation and institutional constraints of traditional installation art, amplifying their message in ways inaccessible through physical means. And conclusion, and yeah, I synchronize with this work. Yeah. And the new media provides the simplest means of overcoming academics and institutional control. It is precisely technology that offers a way to escape censorship in the private sector, even though we are entering an era of techno-feudalism. In the digital ecology, marked by a system of algorithmic control and resource limitation, and it is in such a world that we researchers and artists must continue to fight for new media, so that technologies serve humanity, not capitalist or dictatorial regimes. Thank you very much. This is the bibliography, and that's all.
Okay, thank you, dear Giorgi. Thank you, dear Giorgi. I want to ask audience and listeners, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask him.
Maybe they have not.
Okay.
Okay.
I have
So,
a question. May I?
okay,
May I
please,
ask?
Marita.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's a very interesting topic for me, especially. I have a question. If this uh, this directions you mentioned are somehow linked to the text sound composition, which was developed in Swedish. This is first my question, Sweden. And second question is about graphic notation or music for eyes.